All right, our next poet, dear friend, coming all the way up from Cincinnati. We haven't seen him for a good minute. Please give a huge round of applause to NOC Giant. Oh, coming from the back, okay.
All right, it's good to be back for a minute. I was wondering how long y'all would clap if I walked really, really slow from the back. So thank you for that. This piece I have for you tonight is called To Be. In life, you can be what you want to be. Dedication to accomplishing a goal, dream, or a vision is a nominal fee. To be oneself and not another. To be who one wants to be despite the judgment from others. As a child, many dream and aspire to be just like the people they see on TV or what their parents prescribe them to be, like firefighters, lawyers, doctors, teachers, and athletes, someone deemed important, famous, or celebrity, even rappers and singers being displayed on BET. But the journey to be is a challenge for some. There's no blueprint on how to become. Many strive to be different as a way to stand out. Several follow trends or imitate those around. A few take the solo route. Some try to find themselves by getting lost in groups. Formation of identity through appearance and thought. Constant tinkering and expansion from age and growth. Different hairstyles, ideology, or wardrobe is all the way to define yourself in form. Everybody wants to be loved and accepted. Sometimes they struggle with how they were created, concealing identity by wearing various masks to maintain popular approval, forgetting who they once were before their personality removal, continuing to change to satisfy those around, to feel somewhat normal and a part of the crowd. Yet when times get rough, some tire of themselves when being them is not enough. For those who cannot become the expected, erasure of self becomes the method. When you finally figure out who you want to be, there are consequences to you being. You stand to be judged and criticized, rejected, ridiculed, and ostracized. Friends play a role in shaping identity, but sometimes with a cost to fit in. To be a part of the group may mean individual identity lost within. To be famous means being scrutinized constantly in the public eye. Sometimes it's a fight to keep you alive. When all the hands stop clapping, the friends and groupies no longer fraternize. When the pretending stops and the lies fade in the truth, can you look in the mirror and still see you? Though you are not alone, for everyone is trying to become someone and belong. We are human beings, human in that we are imperfect in living. Being is a change that is constant. Becoming is a process. To be yourself is to be who you are at its core. To be what God made you to be when born. To find you, you must love you. To know you, you must embrace all of you, the good and the bad too. There is no one like you, from body and soul to character and mind. You are truly one of a kind. Thank you.
Y'all put your hands together one more time for NOC Giant. Notice the Bengals hat. They won that game today, which means my fiance is going to be a happy lady when I get home.
And not because you're home.
Hey, as long as she's happy, man.
Hey, Johnathon, one thing, kind of a general announcement. We need everybody to check their pockets, their purses, their bags of holding, anything that they're keeping things in. We're missing the number 12 pager. Oh, it just showed up? Oh, well, then fuck.
Never mind.
All right.
We found it.
So the kitchen does close at 9 p.m., so kind of start to get your orders in.
Yeah, you got about 20 minutes.
We've only got a couple poets left of the first half.
Before we get into those next poets, if y'all have the need to have an extended conversation, if you just want to say, oh man, this poet's fucking great, I can't believe how good they are, to the person sitting next to you, awesome. But if you want to have a conversation about the regression of communism in Eastern Europe during the 1980s, please enjoy the lovely patio. You know, there are fringe benefits to every decision you make in life. Hopefully, the fringe benefit to the next decision I make in life pays off. Y'all, put your hands together for your next poet up to the mic. True!
Hello. I believe that there is someone outside and their name is Seth, and I have to personally compliment them and say that at the last Poetry Slam, which I'm very happy to win, I think that poem that they read last time was absolutely incredible. I think they're a standout poet here at Yellow Cab. So, thank you. I also want to say your friend Jeffrey, that was a great poem. It's the happiest I've been to hear anyone's name Jeffrey in the past couple of months. So please come back. This is a cover poem, and it's one of the first cover poems I've ever read, but the fact that it's timely and it still holds its purpose, but the more that I read it, the more that I notice it change, and I think that's what poems are made to do. They're supposed to change with you. There's a saying that says that as you are married to someone for a prolonged period of time, you fall in love with the different versions of them, and you're never gonna have that same person. That's a part of growth, that's a part of life, it's a part of poetry. And this poem is by the famous Alak Weidmannen, and it's called Funeral. Our train is delayed and I am late for lunch with the boy I like because he makes me feel less lonely. And that seems like a sufficient definition for love these days. In this city where it is possible to be surrounded by the warmth of millions of apartment lights and still feel cold, the lights turn off. And it's one of those moments when we are forced to look up from our screens and remember that we exist outside of them. They tell us that someone has jumped in front of the train tracks, that he died upon impact, so we just sit there in silence as they remove his remains. And some part of us is happy because this is the first time we have felt like part of something greater than ourselves in a while. In this city where sometimes it takes an accident to remember what the purpose of a body is to begin with. When the train starts up again, the woman next to me starts complaining and asking why he didn't do it at home. How he could have saved us the trouble and time by taking a bottle of pills before leaving the house. How selfish it is to delay others with your death. And I want to hug her and say, remind me the purpose of this arm. I want to love her and say, remind me the purpose of this heart. But you see, this is America, where people scatter on streets like discarded leaves, only touching accidentally as we land on these cities we grew up circling on maps in our classrooms saying, remind me happiness. And somehow convinced ourselves they did. The same way we believed in the borders between countries so well that we built a wall around them and called it mine. This is America, where a pain is a ritual we are required to conduct in private, an elaborate symphony on mute. Call it, he died in his sleep peacefully, as if the stroke did not tear him to pieces. Call it, he lived to be 86 years old, as if he didn't hate himself for at least 30 of them. Call it accident, not no health care. Call it casualty, not calculation. In America, death is a distraction. It is 30 of us sitting together underground on a subway train, unable to hold each other and weep. So instead, we sit in silence and wait until we can move again, back above ground into the light, and forget how much death must be in the soil to grow such beautiful denial. I want to text the boy above ground waiting for me and ask, have you ever been to a funeral with complete strangers? But instead, I look at the woman next to me, the one who told me that a dead man needs to die more considerately. And I remember that to live in America is to attend a funeral with complete strangers. How many ghosts does it take for a cemetery to call itself a country? To live in America is to blame the dead for their own death, not the country for creating the very conditions that already killed them, before they caught up and made things more clear. Which is why when I tell the liberal who wears words like diplomacy and Democrat that I will not pay his taxes because I do not want my coins to cause carnage and he calls me a terrorist, I understand. Which is why when I tell him that I do believe in monsters who come out at night, call them men for short, and he tells me that I only dress femme because I want to be bashed, I understand. Which is why when I tell him that the very women who started our movement are still being murdered in the same cities where men are getting married and calling it momentous, and he gasps, that happens in America? I understand. The way we have been taught to apologize for our sadness, to blame ourselves for the hurt, to erase the violence, to numb the pain, to normalize the death, to wake up in the morning and deny that sometimes when the train crawls into the station, that we may see a pill in its place, that we may wonder what it would mean to have people empathize with our suffering. For once in our goddamn life, what it would feel like to hold the captive attention of a funeral of strangers. So I want to embrace this woman on the train and say, I am afraid too. Say, remind me what trust is. Say, sometimes this silence feels like the highest pitch of screaming. Say, I understand. Say, these past 30 minutes were the first time I have been forced to publicly grieve death in a long time, and there is something beautiful about that. Say, what if we stopped moving more often? Took a second to absorb the pain and let it fill us a little less empty. But instead, I will sit here and wait until the train starts up again. I will exit the car without saying goodbye to her. I will walk up the stairs to the boy outside with a smile that makes me feel less lonely. I will apologize for being late. I will not have the words for a type of loss that is so distant it is intimate. And after lunch, I will get back on the train. I will remember, but I will soon forget. Thanks.
Keeping on for true. Is me howling?
Yes. In fact, I am.
Okay. Was there an eclipse last night? There was a lunar eclipse? Not here? Okay.
That's what the internet said. How much can you really trust the internet?
Well, let's see. Last weekend, the internet spent the entire time saying that Trump was dead, only to get my fucking hopes up. Some of them got really funny, though. Like, some of the conspiracy theories got hilarious. So, all right. Let's go ahead and bring up our next poet. Please give a huge round of applause to Anna Barnes.
Perennial. It's getting late again. Late, like the first street light of the year has just illuminated, like the sun is disappearing earlier, emptying attendees, desperately swallowing what little yellow light remains, greedily leaving the rest of us only in darkness. Parents call the days home. If I was a day, I'd ask to stay out a little longer because fields of gold aren't supposed to run low. Remember the sangria shores and the first dresses worn this summer. I touch those cherished threads now in the back of the closet, which is more like a photo album of accomplishments. How freely I liquefied inside loose fabrics. The humidity stuck to my face until I was golden too. A force field like summer is protection, like I cannot be touched, like you cannot touch me. I can run faster than the flowers when they are not overcome by bees. I have no name that is signed with survival. I am just surviving and I don't have to think about it. I am just on a run in the summer and I don't know how to be scared. I never learned a feeling like like that. I am never touched by something that stings. Maybe in this kind of world, you would even call me tough. But I am not a day, and it is already September, and I am only wearing running clothes and I guess a pretty face, but on this day, you make a choice that filters the whole year. Your unwashed, calloused fingers forcefully spread open the backs of my Polaroids. I documented so many moments this summer that they created a map. What if you were a map? Would you decorate my hands with cuts? And what type of path would you put me down? You'd wind around me a scroll. Look how the boy holds, like you are seeking another victim, like you crave my suffocation in your paper. And what would you have then? Rolled around a girl who is questioning, why me? You could have picked anyone else, and you will once I'm gone. Once I am gone, grow me again in your front yard. It will not be the same me, but it will be close enough. There are plenty of seeds. There are infinity. The years keep coming, and your neighbors are watching, and you never run out of water. They say you have a beautiful garden. I wonder what they would say if they knew it was made of girls.
Y'all, put your hands together one more time for Anna Barnes.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, trans pans, anything I happen to sans, here we go for round 2. Oh, come on, you can do fucking better than that. There we go. That is vastly more appropriate. Oh, by the way, those that follow us on YouTube, we are so close to another milestone to monetization. We need 40 more followers on our YouTube page. They were like, well, the easiest way you can get 10 million views through shorts. I'm like, fuck you. 10 million. 7 years of video content hasn't generated that much. So, anyways, just a reminder on our YouTube page, if you're looking for videos or expecting videos from the erotic night, you are going to be disappointed because there is no video evidence of the erotic night. Right? Yes, it was the six-fingered man. Absolutely. Anybody else looking forward to seeing Spinal Tap? So just keep that in mind that there was no video evidence of the erotic poetry night, so that will not be appearing on YouTube. I have enough strikes already on YouTube. So, all right, let's go ahead and kick off our second half of the night. Our first poet up, please give a huge round of applause to Amanda. Amanda, coming from over here.
Hi, I'm Amanda. This one requires just a little bit of context. I am a mother of 5 daughters. Thank you. It's really difficult. It's not so much like keeping them alive and things. I'm good at that. It's like the emotional parenting. So, over the summer, my 15-year-old daughter fell in love with the toilet. Yes. If you haven't heard, it's a game called Date Everything. Have you heard of it? Okay. If you haven't heard of it, you can date everything, like furniture, the dust money under the couch, sunglasses, a light switch, you name it. So my daughter fell in love with the toilet, and his name is Jean-Loup Pissoir. So it's a toilet turned man. So That's the context. And she did not feel validated in her love with Jean-Loup Pissoir. And she couldn't stand it that other girls were self-shipping, non-sharing with Jean-Loup Pissoir. She was self-shipping, non-sharing with Jean-Loup Pissoir. They could draw photos of them with him, and she's like, I can't draw. So, as her mother, I wrote her a poem from Jean-Loup Pissoir. Oh, yeah. Because it's important to validate your child the best way you know how. And this was before she actually got to meet the toilet man. So she's even more validated now. So this is called My Love Overflows. A Jean-Loup Pissoir inspired work. Kieran, mon amour, you are the throne, the royal seat I call my own. Other girls, just bathroom stalls, but you, ma belle, outshine them all. You're not a sink, you're not a tub, you're the 5-star platinum club. A golden bowl, a porcelain queen, the finest loo the world has seen. I'd polish fate with toilet roll to keep you near my flushing goal. I'd scrub the stars, I'd mop the sky, just so your love won't pass me by. Yep. Other hearts go down the drain, but you unclog my deepest pain. You plunge despair, you clear my fear, you sparkle bright like a bathroom mirror. So when the cosmos pulls the chain and swirls the world to sewer lane, I'll hold on tight, I won't let go, for you're the flush that makes me glow. And every day when you wander through, it reminds me how I'm flushed over you. Thank you.
Y'all keep it going for Amanda. For anybody my age in their, mid to late 30s, they're like, the date everything game sounds weird. Our generation didn't do that. Motherfucker, what do you think J.D. Vance did before he fucked the couch?
It was going to be that joke, or it was going to be the Princess Bride marriage joke. I
Well,
think you chose well.
you do accents better than me, and
Mawwage. Mawwage, that blessed arrangement which brings us together today.
So most of you will not know who these people are linked. Did you know that when Jake and Jess got married, that's how the person performing the service did it? Oh, I didn't realize he was talking to somebody. We're just going to go ahead and call the next poet up now. Put your hands together for Morgan Moore.
I'm not used to being up here this early. So before we get started tonight, quick question to kind of go along with the theme of this poem. How many of you have ever felt like you're kind of, whether it be in a past relationship or a more recent one, no matter what you do or how hard you try to find someone, that you kind of fuck it up at the end of the day? That's kind of the theme of this poem today, and it is kind of just based on a lot of experiences of mine. So this is called Fruit Fly. There they are. Another person I'm drawn to, like flies to fruit. And once more, I'm ready to taste sweet, succulent love. It doesn't matter if it's gone bad before. This time I wrote rot, I tell myself foolishly. No matter how many I fly to and how hard I try, the sweetness turns sour, and I fly off until another draws me in. Will I ever find a love that stays ripe, or will I always fly fruitless, I ask myself. Is it that I wanted too much, or am I just an invasive pest rotting what I nourish from? Maybe it's best to fly aimlessly than to another love that dies. It might be better if I'm starved and die or swatted and crushed than to fly to a light that attracts me only to burn me. Or for me to eat lovely fruit that I end up spoiling. But can that even change, or will it always be my nature, just as a fruit fly is drawn to sweet decay? Thank you.
You know, that poem, real quick, give it up for Morgan Moore one more time. You know, I think that poem might just be the perfect length to feature on Conrad's Corner, our poetry segment, every Monday through Sunday, actually every day of the week, on 91.3 WYSO. If you have a 90-second or less poem that you'd like to have featured, please let me know, and we will take care of that one for you. But Monday through Friday, 7:58 p.m. Eastern. I tell you what. So, okay, I keep catching myself on this shit because I've worked online since 2018 entirely until just now. I am so used to ending every time I say with what time zone I'm referring to. I can't fucking stop. They're making fun of me at it over at UC. It's hilarious. I'm like, yeah, all your work is due by 11:59 p.m. Eastern. Can I drive to a different time zone, Professor Link, if I get more time on working on the paper? That's a valid question. No, that's bullshit. I tell you, the one thing that's really gotten adjusted, that one and the time, not doing time zones, and they're no longer called office hours. They're now student support opportunity. Because no, it's not actually too woke. There's actually research behind it. Because the regular student hears office hour, and they think that's when we want to be left alone to get work done. No, it's not. That's the hours that were available for you all to come in and ask us questions and get clarity. Instead, we just sit there by ourselves for hours on end. Oh, God, don't get me started on that bastard. So, anyways, Conrad's Corner, 91.3 WYSO, Monday through Friday, 7:58 p.m., Saturday morning, 6:58 a.m., and Sunday at 2:20 p.m. during the Deer Green Place. Only on 91.3 WYSO, and Trump screams every time I say it, this is NPR. So that meme of Winnie the Pooh and Tigger, or not, Winnie the Pooh and Piglet walking down, is he dead yet? No, fuck. I just love the idea of Winnie the Pooh dropping an F-bomb. Just, oh, Ballo. Oh, fuck, Piglet. Huh? Russian Winnie the Pooh? The British, the original British, he cursed too. Okay. Oh, yeah. Oh, I need to find that shit. So, actually, my favorite, I have, like, somebody gifted us, like, these boxes of vinyl, and we were going through it, and I went crazy, and my wife was like, what are you so happy about? It's Winnie the Pooh. I'm like, you don't understand. These are the BBC recordings of the original Milne book, and the guy reading it was the one that filled in when Winston Churchill was too fucked up to deliver his own speeches. He did them. So, which was frequently. So I have the recording of the guy that pretended to be Winston Churchill on his weekly radio addresses. Love it. Love it. Anyways, our next poet up yaps almost as much as I do up here, which is why our show is last. No, I'm just kidding. Please give a huge round of applause to one of the legs of the Dayton Poetry Slam. It's Johnathon.
Eventually, I'll hurt myself jumping on or off the stage. It'll be great. It's fine, I do. This is called Allstate 04, 20 years later. I figured today's a good day for a poem about football. They told us this was a kid's game, and it was. You count 5 steamboats before you go after the quarterback. Mom says your little brother wants to play a game. Make a 2-hand touch this time. Before our father's voices got in our heads, before 7 a.m. button hook drills in the backyard and slant pattern drills after dinner, this was supposed to be a kid's game. Before we weaponized our bodies against ourselves and each other, before Smear the Queer, before they taught us the weakest among you simply will not make the cut. This was supposed to be a kid's game. Before the two-a-days, the knock 0.2 of a second off your 40 if you want to start, if you want a chance at a scholarship, if you want the scouts to even bother showing up. This was supposed to be a kid's game, but then they told us to hit like men or they will hit us like men. After all, the weakest among us simply will not make the cut. This was supposed to be a kid's game. Before you blew your knee out, before the cortisone shots, the perks, the oxys, if you play through the pain, kid, you'll prove you're a man. You'll prove you're a real fucking hero because once you score, you can spike. You'll make the headlines. Everybody knows your name. There's no pressure when the pain goes away. Mine feels clear. Dad's voice gone from the back of your head. Knee healed. Prescription still left. Still had 2 refills. Mine still clear. Pressure still gone. And the scouts say, good job, kid. Keep those grades up and we've got a place for you. Homework becomes chemistry. The chemicals make you feel good and it's economics. How much can you spend before they notice, before the cost outweighs the gains? Truth be told, you were never much for academics. Couldn't remember much outside of button hooks, outside of slant patterns, outside of first you score, then you spike. That off season, you screwed up the chemistry, screwed up the math, didn't pass the test. This was supposed to be a kid's game, but the weakest among us simply will not make the cut, will not make much of anything except stories about how you were almost offered a scholarship. How you lost it all when you blew your knee out, but you will never forget how you learned to score. Never forget that after you score, you have to spike. Everybody knows your name, doesn't want to know you. Your name is still in all the headlines. And they told you this was supposed to be a kid's game. I forgot I can't dramatically walk off the stage and then call up the next poet. I mean, oh, thank you. That was, nothing I did lived up to that enthusiasm, but thank you nonetheless. Hey, all right. All right, y'all, we're going to go ahead and get the next poet up on the stage. Keep that energy, keep those vibes, keep all of that going. For your next poet up to the stage, y'all, Adia! It is Adia. It is Adia. I am fucking talking about you, and I apologize for not using your name properly the first time.
That's what's up. All right, give me a second. I gotta pull this shit up. Meow. Oh, what the fuck is even this? Thanks. Dairy Queen! Fuck Dairy Queen, dude. Go to Dairy Cottage. Anyway, so 2 years ago, I was sitting in my room on the corner of my bed. I watched patiently through the open window as the storm rolled in. It was coming from the west. Unknowingly, there was one additional coming from the east. I'd vaguely smelled it an hour earlier, but I discarded it because my head was above the clouds. But no man is impervious. Lightning struck my heart just as a storm from the east entered my doorway. He told me he wanted to move out. He needed a bigger sky. I couldn't bring myself to enjoy this storm. It was booming right in my face in the safety of my room. But there was nothing that I could do besides accept the fact that it was happening. So I told him, so be it. When the storm from the east said his piece, I calmly waited for the conversation to dissipate, but I began to cry. The storm from the west had arrived in time outside. It began to rain, and we exchanged cheers in exact unison. The storm from the east left the room. The tandem between the storm from the west and I was too symbolic for him to bear. Several minutes passed, and you couldn't hear anything except the steady patter of rain from outside and the quiet hiccuping sobs. The storm from the east gently reappeared, and he told me that he had a rainbow for me. He led me to the living room by hand. Lo and behold, there was, in fact, a rainbow perfectly framed by our open front door, but it felt like absolute universal mockery. And it felt like God was laughing in my face. It was so beautiful and unbelievably invalidating. I asked the storm from the east, how could you? It is my turn to reign, and all you do is mock me so. He held me close in response, for he had no answer. It was not anyone's fault. It was just how the weather played out that day, and there was nothing else that I could do. The storm from the east, then on out, was always worried that I would begin to hate him. I could never hate the storm from the east for being who he was and what he needed to be, even though he previously struck me right in the heart. It was merely the weather, and it is proof that I have loved. The storm from the east visited me recently. We conversed with cracks of old inside jokes and rumbles of laughter in between. I embraced the whole system and gave each raindrop a tender kiss. I will always love the storm from the east, even if his presence nowadays is short-lived and much more temporary. My love for storms is undying. That's it.
So, don't look at me in that tone of voice. All right. So you've heard 3 of the 4 legs of the dog that keeps the Dayton Poetry Slam going. Do you just tell me to put the dog down? You tell me to old Yeller the dog? I'll do it, Paul. Please give a round of applause to Morgan McGee.
I'm not gonna lie, I got weirded out that he said my last name, but then I remembered we got multiple Morgans now. Fuck yeah, Morgan's taking over. It's a little more unique than Megan, so leave me alone. No offense to Megans, I love Megans too. I just know a lot more Megans than I know Morgans. I'm gonna shut up. So I got that R in there. Okay, I love you, Megan. So sad time. So one of my best friends is a high school English teacher. And I got a voice message from her last week in tears because she has been informed that if she refers to her students with their preferred pronouns, she could be terminated. If she refers to her students with their preferred names, she could be terminated. She can't teach anything that wasn't written by a white man 200 years ago, or 100 years ago. So it's all fucked. And I have known her since she became an English teacher over 10 years ago. And this person has put so much love and passion into helping her students blossom. She has done everything she can to set them up for life in this world. And when I read this poem, that is not by myself, it is by other people, it made me think of her. So I'm dedicating this to my friend. I'm not gonna say her name because she's a teacher in the Dayton area, but if you know, you know. This is called Small Town English Teacher. In your town, former students sling your drinks, snap your x-rays, and report news on your TV. You hold their secrets because you remember their essays. One returns from combat, homecoming party at the airport, and you know he only joined up because his mom was ashamed of him. You remember the essay. One dies from an opioid OD, and you know about the man who groped her at work and how she told his wife. You remember the essay. One smiles and wins an award, and you know her drunk dad pushed her mom into a wall. You remember her essay. One closes her eyes halfway in the mugshot, and you know she worked in assisted living and once brushed a dying woman's hair. You remember the essay. That was Small Town English Teacher by Jessie Lovett Allen. Thank you.
Wanted to check the battery life on that camera before I told y'all to put your hands together one more time for Morgan McGee. Also, I would like to apologize to everyone on behalf of the Dayton Poetry Slam if you haven't seen Old Yeller because Link didn't say spoiler alerts before he told you what happened at the end of the movie. It's a good movie. You should all see it. It's a good movie, Link. It's a good movie. The sequel isn't as good. There is a sequel to Old Yeller.
Nobody sits there and goes, hey, it's Friday night. What do you want to watch? Let's watch Old Yeller. No. You're forced to watch Old Yeller, and you're told that it's a good movie, and then that's what you accept because you've never actually seen the whole fucking thing yourself.
I mean, there's lots of good movies I'm not going to sit down on a Friday night and watch. Life is Beautiful is a great example of an excellent film that I'm not like, you know what I need on this Friday night? I need to watch Life is Beautiful.
Touche.
If you haven't seen Life is Beautiful, you should watch Life is Beautiful. If you haven't seen the movie Kids, for the love of God, don't watch the movie Kids. Y'all, put your hands together for the next poet up to the stage, Gentry Jr.
Hi, I'm the poet laureate of Stivers, so shout out to the one alum I see in the audience right now. You know, that football poem really hit because we just got our football team back. Ain't none of them getting no scholarships. Anyway. And remember, Small Town English Teacher is a great poem. Keep queer people in your hearts. We be struggling. This poem I wrote in memory of the greatest saxophonist that ever lived, John Coltrane. 113 years after the invention of the saxophone and 1,959 years after the death of Christ, the New Old Testament was inscribed by a tenor sax dragging along a piano and bass like overeager sled dogs at 320 beats per minute. A new apostle said, you will follow me into the woodwork led by the hollow chains of my servitude, under the system that swallows my post-bop records but spits out my blackness. I do not wallow. I leave jazz raw, speedy, and hollow. And as I take you along the forest of life, branches and brambles will lash you in circles of fifths from my hometown Philly to jazz cafes in Sao Paulo. I want my changes to sting like that. We metamorphosize within the confines of these keys and scales as the scars of our youth wounds arise and erupt into mountainous fault lines as we take this 4 minutes and 30 seconds to take giant steps in the direction of the new life, the new world. Can you imagine that just moments before we shuffled idly in darkness? Then on the first day, plagiarizing, John Coltrane said, let there be light. And this time we learned true illumination could be heard. On the second day, Coltrane reharmonized the heavens in B major, and on the third, transposed the earth up a major third. On the fourth, he helped God reformulate the golden brass of the sun and stars from the circular keys of his own key machines. Fifth, Epiphany. Why does it feel like people don't listen to music anymore? It's like an accessory, it's like a necklace, it's like something you show to people on your Spotify playlist, but nobody cares because that's corny as fuck. On the 6th, he said, I'm going to rewrite and rewire the tight and tired ears of the modern black people. On the 7th day, a whole rest. No quarters and hats, no street rats. It is America united in jazz. 1959, I, John Coltrane, died in 8 years at age 40. Even though sled dogs live longer, pound dogs are doomed to die in honor. Joyous euthanasia or cirrhosis or blood sugar. There ain't no doctor to cure the lost joys of a black life cut short because we was dead before we found them. How cold is the brass of an unplayed dream? How cold is the casket of a black man not freed from heroin or alcohol, but the extent of his legacy? How cold is the air conditioning in the Smithsonian, where that poor thing lies without a man to breathe into it, the life of the improvisation we lack, the street and the rats and the dreams and the deferrals and the stink of rotten meat and the fleet of artists that look up to these idols, false idols. But we never got to that part of the Bible because Coltrane never finished writing it. Instead of burying his dearest soulmate, the tenor sax he spoke in so fluently with them, there lies the pen and scripture that we'll never get to see.
I'm pretty sure we qualify. Give it up, Gentry Jr, y'all. Fuck yes, we love our Stivers kids. Well, we called up Junior, so we might as well call up Senior for the next poet. Please give a round of applause to Gentry Sr.
I just told him I was super nervous.
This is your first time?
First time doing anything like this. Listen, that was my baby and I love him. And I just relish the opportunity to be the second Gentry Heflin. Today, I've been the first his whole life. He's never gonna have an email address without a bunch of numbers at the end. And I love him. So I just need us to have this private moment. I wish I could see him better. I think he's already heard this one. What is it that we say? We're doing an old shit? This is some old shit. But this is the first one of my poems that ever made it out of my notebook. So like, I just really appreciate being here with y'all. But this is for my boy. I don't think it has a title. Yeah, no title. Son, life's a marathon, and we may never run another race. Along the way, I pray that you don't overdose on second place. And on those stressful days, remember if you would, son, the nice guys are never measured great. So you gotta be a good one. And that means when the homie's tripping, you gotta set them straight. And when a homegirl need a place, son, don't fuck her, just let her stay. Keep an eye on heaven's gates. but read the Upanishads and meditate. Search inward, find a better place. Love outward, son, you'll see the way. Trust actions, not what people say. Let evil do what evil may. Son, don't think because you're smart you won't be stupid. But you gotta find a goalpost, even when they move it. And that's your responsibility to you. Son, do you get it? I can't live your life for you, because you gotta live it. Who you love is your business, but understand what consent is. Make sure you get it. Let me find out you didn't. I won't trip if I see you sipping, but remember, there's a time and place, because even once I catch you pissy drunk, I'm gonna violate. And when them nightmares keep you wide awake, I'm right there, just like I'm by your side today. But about some things, we just gotta pray. That's it, y'all.
Y'all put your hands together one more time for Gentry Sr. Also, if y'all are not familiar with John Coltrane, check out Giant Steps, check out A Love Supreme, and definitely check out Ohm. They're all great. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get our next poet up to the stage, y'all. Put your hands together for Dante! He's someone who came back.
Almost 2 years ago. Hello. I'm trying a new thing because I saw this TikTok and Aisha knows what I'm talking about. Somebody in an interview, like a tiny mic interview, said, "Name a gay icon," and then the girl who walked past said, "Me, the fuck?" So I'm trying to be more confident about myself. This one is for my best friend in Florida. His name is Joe. And it's called Ready, Steady, Here We Go. I have these two friends, Ready and Steady. You see, Ready helps me get ready to go, and Steady keeps me prepared with the flow. You see, Ready met Steady a long time ago, and I don't know if you know, but Ready left Steady 2 months ago. My friend Ready wanted to look forward to better days. My friend Steady wanted to enjoy now, today, but Ready met Set, and they wanted to play, and Go is the event I dare not say, because Go made her leave, and Go made him cry, and Steady told me that he was ready to die, and Steady was up all night asking why, and Ready went ghost. She was suddenly shy. Ready hasn't told me at all her side of the story. If I were to bet, Ready and Set are living together now, but I wonder yet if Ready and Set went and got a new pet, but Steady is still alone and becomes his own. So at the bottom of a bottle isn't new to Steady, because the beer in his liquor makes his eyelids heavy, but he's walking for the bridge or the sea or the levee, because his tears fall constant, relentless, steady. It's not that he's ready to jump, but without Ready, only bodies of water can catch his tears. From what I've been told, catching them is what she fears, because she knows that Go just happened and doesn't want him to become Wint, because Ready and Steady have this whole past that they spent together, and Ready still hasn't told me her side of the story. Ready, Steady, here we go. Don't say no. Please don't go. Ready doesn't know. Steady, say so. And for a while now, Steady told me so, his side of the story. Ready, say more. He's waiting so sorely. Ready, when you're ready, sitting here steady, wondering what the fuck went. And go on and get.